G-O, BCS, go, go. BCS, Bible, go, go. G-O, math and reading, go, go. Spelling and English, go, go. G-O, history and science, go, go. G-O, BCS second graders. Woo-hoo! Okay, can you do that? Oh. Okay, now, so we're going to get ready to do our lesson, and later I'm going to do some more cheering for you, and you can see some other fun stuff we're going to do. But are you ready to learn? I know you're ready to go. G-O, go. Let's go on up here. Let's get started. Okay, sorry, I got to get all my hair and stuff out of the way. Okay, so our lesson today in math is lesson 14-2. It's about halves. That's like cut in half. And our page is 589 to 592. So let's look on the example page. And on the example page, it shows you a red rectangle, a green one, a yellow one, and a blue one. Now, you'll notice they all are in two pieces. But what we're going to talk about is if they are in equal halves. And if they're in equal halves or they're not in equal halves. Now, right here we're showing the first one. The parts are the same size. There are two equal shares in the whole. This rectangle shows halves. And if you folded this piece in half, it would be exactly the same size. Now, let's look at the green one. It says, parts are not the same size. This rectangle does not show halves. Now, it's cut into two pieces, but they are not equal halves. If that was a pizza, you wouldn't want to get the small piece. You would want the big piece because the small piece wouldn't be enough to eat, right? So you would want it, or you'd rather say, hey, can I have half of what you just did? Because that's not half for me, right? So that's not correct. So now, let's look at the yellow one. There are two equal shares. And then you look at this, and even though this is now doing it horizontally, the red one was vertically, and it was correct. The yellow one was vertical, but not correct. And then you look at the yellow one. Even though it's not split down the dots, it is split exactly in half. And if you were to fold it as a piece of paper, it would be exactly the same shares. Now, let's look at the blue one. The blue one is cut diagonally. Diagonally means not horizontal, not vertical, but sideways from one corner to the next. And it doesn't matter which corner to what corner, as long as the sides are the same and the shape is the same. Because if you had like a wiggly side on one side and a rectangle on the other side, even if you did it diagonally, it would not be the same. But this is the same size rectangle divided exactly from one corner to the other diagonally. So the two shares are equal shares. If you cut them out and put them together, they would come out to be equal shares. Now, let's look at our practice down on the bottom. All right, you ready? So on page 589, it shows you four different rectangles. And as we look at the rectangles, there's a red one, a green one, a yellow one, and a blue one. And it says Zach has 4 sheets of construction paper. He cuts each sheet into two pieces. Which sheet of paper did Zach cut in half? Well, let's look at the red one. Okay, it says equal shares are the same size if there are two equal shares. Each share is half the rectangle. The red rectangle is cut into two halves. The two halves make one whole. So they are equal. If you flipped them together and folded them, they would go together and they would be equal shares. But let's look at the green one. These pieces are not the same size. The green rectangle is not cut into equal shares. It is not cut into half. It's cut into two pieces, but the two pieces are not equal. You wouldn't want to have to get that, just like I've said before. You wouldn't want to get the small piece if you had a big pizza pie, right? You'd want to make sure you had a big piece. Or you'd want to share it evenly. And in this way, it's not sharing it evenly. Two pieces, not the same size, not equal. Now the yellow one is cut into two equal shares. Now the red one was cut in a vertical cut, but it was still two equal shares. This one, and then the vertical cut for the green one, but it was not equal shares. Now the yellow one is cut horizontally, and it's not cut on the dots, but that's okay because it's cut exactly in the center. So it still equals 2 equal shares. If you folded it, it would come out to 2 equal shares. Now let's look at the blue triangle. It's cut into 2 equal shares. Well, you might say, wow, it's cut in a strange way, and that is called diagonal. From a corner to a corner is diagonal, and as long as the shape is square or rectangular, or even a parallelogram, as long as it has the same sides on each side, and you cut it in half, it can be 2 equal shares, and in this case, it is. Now, if you had something that had like wiggly on this side, came over, and then a rectangle on that side, you couldn't do diagonal that way because the sides are not the same. But in this case, the blue one is cut into exact same. If you were to cut it in half, you could put them together and they would be exactly the same. So Zach cut the red, yellow, and blue sheets of paper in half. And so that is the explanation. Now we're going to do what we have on the board. So we are going to look at page 590. On 590, this is exactly what you have in your book. And we're going to be talking about doing things in halves. Okay, let's see on these first 3 examples, what is cut in half and what's just in 2, because there is a difference. Okay, now, let's look at the first one. This one has a rectangle, or you may say a square, because it's 4, 4, and 4. And you look at it, and the dot, dot, dot goes diagonally. Is there the same amount in each side? Yes. And you know that because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then these 2 together are 7, these 2 together are 8. And then you same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these 2 together are 7, these 2 together are 8. So they are exactly in equal halves. If you cut this in half, you could fold it over and it would be the same amounts. So this is halves. Now let's look at the circle. Okay, the green circle. It shows you that we have done this all the way. It's exactly at the edge of every one of these. And then if you look here, you see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 full squares. And then here is a little bit of a square. Here's a little bit of a square. And then they have a little tiny quarter piece, okay? Then over here again, there's almost all of a square, a little quarter piece, and then almost part of a square, almost part of a square. So if you cut this out and you folded it, it would be exactly the same size. So it is cut exactly in halves. Now let's check over here. Let's look at this other circle. Well, it's cut into 2 pieces, but if this was a pie, would you want to get that piece? No, especially if it was something really special, right? So you're going to look at this, you're going to see it's cut into 2 pieces, but it's not equal. If we bent this or cut this, it would not equal the other side. So we're going to put not halves. Okay, now let's come over and let's look at number 4. Number 4 says, draw 2 ways to split the rectangle in half. Okay, we have the same rectangle, the same amount of space cut out in these rectangles, and so we're going to see what half would be. There could be different ways you could do the halves. I'm going to get this. I'm going to use a yardstick. You can use a ruler or something with a flat edge, and you can do it either way. I'm going to start it out with, I'm going to start this out with, I think I'm losing part of my hair. Hang on a second. I'm going to start out right here with doing one that is horizontal. I'm going to go right along the very center, because as I do this and I look, I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So if I divide this in half, I'm going to put a little dot, 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 dot across. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dot, 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 across. Okay, now let's look at that. Do you see how that is equal halves? Because you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. So we have created this in half for that one. Now let's try and see if we can do one that is going straight up and down. Now on this one, you have to kind of pay attention a little more, because if there's dots in the middle of this or not. Because you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and then you have this 18, 20. So there's no dots to draw a line on right here. So you're going to have to find the center, as though you're going to fold the paper. So I'm going to go to that and go to the center. If I come in, I go, there's 1, 2 here, 1, 2, oh, and then there's 3 right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we have to draw a line in between the two of these. So I'm going to try to find pretty much in between. I might not be perfect, but I'm going to be pretty close here. Okay? And draw it right in between this. See if that would be there, and that would be there. That's pretty close. Okay, and I'm going to draw the dotted line down here. Ready? And this is called vertical. Up and down is vertical. Okay, there we go. And do you see how, if you folded this in half, you would see how this would be even. So here's a vertical way to do it without being on the dots, but yet it is equal. And here is one that is on the dots and is horizontally done, and it's together. If you could fold it together, it will be equal. Okay, now let's look at number 5. Number 5 says, number 5 says, Ruby split a rectangle in half. Each half is made of 15 equal size squares. How many squares make up the whole rectangle? Well, I already wrote down all the way through 15 on half of it. So you can see that the other half will be. Because if we know if half of it is 15, the other half would have to be 15 as well if it's going to be equal size. So let's look. We already know we have 15 here. So if we were going to, let me get my black one again, go to this side. In fact, let me use another color, because that way you can see there if there's 15 and 15. Let's try to go with the pink on the other side. We got blue for boys and pink for girls, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to be using my ruler to do this one. Hopefully, yep, it'll work. Okay, and I'm going to go across here and make the dotted lines. Okay. And again, it might not be perfect, but it's going to be pretty close to get the idea. Okay, that goes that way. Then this one comes this way. Okay, and then the next one goes here. Glad I already did the one side. It'd take a while, wouldn't it, if I was just doing the one side right now? So. Okay. Now for this up and down one, I'm going to have to probably, because this won't work, I'll have to use my yardstick again. Remember, 3 feet are in a yard. So we'll use this. Bottom of that to make it a little steady, because the lines are already drawn, so all I have to do is put them in place to do the dot, dot, dot. There we go. And make sure you try when you use something to make it line up with the dots, because if you line up with the dots, it may not be perfect, but it will be a lot better than if you just started freehanded, especially on the bigger ones. The smaller ones, not so much, but the bigger ones, it does. Okay, now we have all our squares here. So now let's look. We're going to count using the pink on the other side. Because remember, here's where we stopped it, this side and this side. So it's like this whole thing right here, this is the other half. So let's count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wow, that worked out perfect, didn't it? So that's 15. So now let's look. If if that's 15, and we have to add another 15, 5 plus 5 is, that was fast. Good job. Okay, so that you have to carry the 1 though, right? Cannot leave that 1 down here because it belongs to the tens. So we put that up here, and then we add that. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. So that means there are a total of 30. Now let's count it together and see if it is 30. We know this is 15, so we don't have to count all this. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we were right. Super job. So you have 30 squares. Okay, now we're going to go over to number 6. Okay, I have to move over this a little bit so you can see what we're doing. Okay, this one is kind of a tricky question because it's not exactly split exactly the same, but listen to what the question is. Okay, it says, Louise says that the rectangle does not show halves because parts are not the same shape. Is he correct? Explain. Well, he's not correct in this sense. If you're thinking because they didn't fold it exactly, that's true. You couldn't fold this exactly and come out even. However, if you're just doing it by the amount of squares, there are 6 squares. So the 6 squares are different, and we'll look at it right here and see how they are different. So if you count this, you can see that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to take the blue. Don't forget that. Just leave it on the floor. Thank you. Here we go. Here we go. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, there's 1. Okay. Or we can do 1 up here. Maybe it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they have the same amount of squares. They just don't have it evenly to where they can fold it evenly and it'll work out perfect. But they do have the same amount of squares. So he was wrong. They do have equal shares. If they cut these out, each person will get 6. And so that's what we wrote down. We wrote down, no, because each part is made up of 6 squares. So the rectangle shows 2 equal squares. It may not be symmetrical like this is and this is, and like this is and this is, but it is equal shares. So, hey, Andy is here. Pastor Andy's here. Pastor Andy. Woo! Here comes Pastor Andy. Go, Gio. Go, go. Woo!
Yay!
We miss you.
I know, I miss you guys too. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are staying in your word and reading your Bible at this time, even if it's just one verse. And make sure you're praying for me. Be praying for Mrs. Touchton. I'll be praying for your school. I'm praying for your parents. They are with you all day, some of your parents. So make sure you're praying for your parents, okay? But make sure you guys are sweet, all right? Be sweet. And make sure you guys are taking notes during this lesson, okay? I love you guys. I'm praying for you guys. You guys be good, okay? I'll see you guys later.
Let's
Bye,
give it
guys.
up for Andy. Woo! All right. So that's a great way to end our lesson for this lesson. And we will get ready to go do our English, and then I'll come back and get some more math. Okay? So remember, go, go, G-O, BCS, go, go, B-go, G-O. Do your math, do your English, do your reading, do your spelling. G-O, go. You can do it. You are smart. You are BCS students. 2nd grade, yes. 2nd grade, yes. Yay, 2nd grade. Woo! You can do it. I love you guys.